Hello everyone, my name is MJ Vilches of Doodle Notes, and welcome to part 2 of the 9 Tutlapse series. So yeah, I apologize for the lack of energy on the previous part. Like I said, on the description there, I'm with some people while recording that thing, so my confidence level when I record stuff with people just drops tremendously. Because, I'm actually surrounded with people who doesn't really know what I'm doing, who probably don't understand why I'm doing it. But yeah, they're probably just gonna understand if I'm already successful. But for now, since I'm still right here where I am, they don't see much on what I do. But yeah, that's why when they're around, I just lost it. I just lose the confidence. Also, for the stuttering, you're probably gonna be hearing me stutter a lot for the next, future Tutlapse, because I'm not really much of a talker, and I'm not much of a talker, and sometimes I find it difficult to use the right terms on speaking. Even in my own language, it's difficult to find the right term to use when explaining stuff. So yeah, that's something that I'm probably gonna be, that's something that's probably gonna improve as I do this Tutlapse thing. I mean, the Tutlapse help me, practice my stuff. But yeah, enough of that. Right now, actually, I'm gonna show to you how I textured the 9 model. If you're looking at the turntable right there, it actually has a nice texture, and you'll be seeing that as a time-lapse video right here. And I'm gonna be explaining how I did it as the time-lapse goes. But yeah, if you want to download the model, the link will be in the description below. It's for free. You don't have to pay for it because it's free. Whatever. So yeah, one of the things that I want to clarify too is the difficulty level. I decided to remove it and replace it with the Blender version because every Tutlapse video will be on the intermediate level, because you'd have to know which buttons to push to actually really understand what I'm doing, which parts of what you gotta have a bit of knowledge of Blender to really understand what I'm doing as you watch the Tutlapse videos. But yeah, if you just want to watch how I model stuff, how I form a cube into something else, then yeah, the Tutlapse is the faster way to do it if you just want to watch those kinds of things while also learning a bit. Because yeah, like I said on the previous Tutlapse videos, the purpose of this videos is to just show you how I did stuff, and hopefully you get something from it. Something from the mistakes that I did, and something from the methods that I use as I do this thing. Yeah, I think that is all that I need to share. So yeah, let's just do this. So yeah, continuing from the last part, now we have the 9 model, and right here what I'm doing is marking sims, and I think I've explained it on the Meowth Tutlapse already, what marking sims does. But yeah, before you actually unwrap your model, you need to mark sims to tell Blender which part of the mesh that needs to be cut, so that it would be separated into different maps on the UV grid later on when you unwrap the model. That's what marking sims does, to tell Blender which parts to cut, so that the UV layout of the model will be properly arranged, and you'll see it well. Because if you don't unwrap and if you don't mark sims and you unwrap, the UV layout is not gonna look good. I think that's one of the things that a beginner should make sure to not forget about unwrapping. Unwrapping is a must. Something that you need to do to texture your image to your model. So yeah, right now I'm unwrapping, and also I edited the mesh there, just adding that part right there, because at first actually my plan is to do that part as a texture, that part on 9's shoulder right there, do it as a texture, but I figured it won't look too good for what I'm doing. It won't look good, so I decided to just model it instead of using texture, just to have that effect of maybe not that close to the actual 9 model, but should be enough to fool your eyes, like I said in the previous part. Yeah, just here I'm adding that part to just add more detail to it instead of doing it as a texture. yeah, it's just a bit of modeling. But yeah, like I said on previous Tutlapse, you never really stop editing your mesh, even if you're done with the other parts, even if you're done rigging it. Sometimes you just have to add extra stuff, but it gets really complicated when you do that. That's why while you're modeling the thing, you just need to take into account everything. And yeah, like I said in the previous Tutlapse again, this 9 model is something that I did last year, so I just gathered some reference images for it, but I didn't really plan ahead how I'm gonna model the thing, because mostly during this time I'm just experimenting on Blender, just getting there instead of just instead of planning things, because I don't really know how stuff is gonna work in Blender. So that's why I experimented to experience the problems right then and there, and then solve it there. But yeah, for future models I'm gonna be planning ahead. But yeah, right now I've unwrapped the texture, arranged it a bit, and then I'm gonna start on coloring it. And the way I did the 9 texture is to actually get a texture and use that texture as a brush to like mimic 9's cloth-like body. Yeah, I took a texture image and then just added this. I mean, use that texture, put that texture on a texture, put that texture image on a texture on Blender, and then use that texture to paint it. To use the texture as a brush, as color to paint that in. I'm gonna be creating a separate tutorial covering just that, how to use an image as a brush texture for your texture mapping, your texture painting. And I'm really sorry if I can't explain that well, but yeah, it's just using a texture image as a brush while texture painting. And I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna be creating a tutorial, a separate tutorial to detail that, how I did that thing. But yeah, that's how I did. That's how I painted over 9's body. Because trying to do it in an external program will be very difficult. So I decided to just do it like this, like paint it over to not have a weird deformation of the texture, not to give it, not to make it look weird. Yeah, you can see it right there how I textured 9. I think that's just the big thing here on this Tutlapse. And like I said, I'm going to be creating a separate tutorial just covering that. Just how to use a texture as a brush as you texture paint. But yeah, this is how I did it, and just painting on the UV grid there instead of painting on the mesh, just to paint the hidden parts, the parts that you can't really see that much. That brown part right there is from his eyes, I guess. The cloth part on his eyes, that brown part, the darker brown, because the lighter brown is the more visible layers, the more visible parts of 9's head there. Yeah, that's just it, I guess. That's how I did 9's texture, and it's actually, if you watch it now, it's pretty easy. But I actually did a lot of iterations for it. I did a lot of tests. It undergo a lot of versions until I managed to figure out this kind of method to paint 9. Yeah, I think that's all. That's all that I did here. And at this part, I did not speed it up anymore, and that's because, like I said, I recorded this last year, and there are some parts that are missing, especially the part when I set up the materials on the copper hands of 9. I'm not going to be able to show that here, and I'm really sorry about that. But like I said, you can download the model for free. The link will be in the description below. You can examine it yourself. 9's material setup for his hands are really, not really that complicated. I just set up some cloud textures, and some, change some settings. But you can just examine it on the description below. Yeah, right here I am painting over 9. 9's 9. I'm painting over 9's identity right here. But that's just a reference. What I'm doing here is just putting a reference on where I'm gonna be putting the 9, the number 9 on 9's back. I actually edited that on GIMP afterwards, and also I'm not gonna be able to show that part to you because that part is missing on the clips. I did not record that part last year, so yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I just painted that there as a reference, and then I edited that afterwards on GIMP to properly have a really nice 9 there at his back. But yeah, once again, I'm really sorry. This texture Tutlapse is lacking a lot of clips, and yeah, just examine the model, download it for free. Down below you can see how I did the materials on his copper hands. They're not really that awesome, and I'm probably gonna be tweaking that more. And also you can do a little tweaking of yourself on the 9 model. You can tweak the materials to so that it would look the way you want it to. You can download the model in the description below. But yeah, I think that's all there is that I need to show to you. This is just a short texture video, and yeah, see you on the next part. The rigging, the rigging of 9 is actually done right now. I mean, I did the rigging. I did the rigging this year because I'm not satisfied with the rigging that I did last year. So yeah, I re-rigged 9, and the video of the rigging is complete. I did not skip anything, and yeah, I think that would be the end, the last part of this 9 Tutlapse series. So yeah, that's it, and see you on the next part. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for reaching this far. Hopefully you've got something from this. Like I said, Tutlapse videos are just something to show to you how I did stuff, not exactly to teach you something, but yeah, mostly while just watching others do their stuff, I learned something. So yeah, that's actually the reason why I'm doing the Tutlapse videos, also to be able to share to you how I did stuff. And yeah, if you want to watch the previous part, just click that annotation right there, the bottom video. If you want to watch this 9 character moving, I'll be creating an animation with it, and once it's up, I'm going to be putting up a link in the description below, or the annotation right there, the upper video. Also, consider subscribing if you want to be notified when the next part's gonna come out, or if you just want to see more Tutlapse videos, or if you want to see more stuff from Doodlenotes, from me, if you want to see my growth as a Blender artist, or just a filmmaker, you just consider subscribing if you want to see all that stuff. Yeah, explore the sites, explore my social media sites. I'll be updating there regularly, and explore the blog. That's where you're gonna be seeing all the information you need to get to know Doodlenotes more. You want to know why Doodlenotes exist, why I do stuff, and what's with my slogan. Yeah, that's all. My name is MJ Vilchas of Doodlenotes, bringing forth awesomeness to glorify the awesome. Over and out.